I started the recording.
Okay,
Right.
thank you, sir. All right, everybody, welcome to our short little meeting today because I know that a couple of the items on our agenda probably will not get completed. The transportation group did not meet as far as I know. I just gave the reins over to Lisa, and then Donna's been not feeling the best, so she was not able to do, I don't think, an education and awareness meeting. We were supposed to meet today regarding showing Crip Camp again on March 1st, and she had canceled that meeting. So both of those will not be completed today. I was hoping that Commissioner Reed would be on today, Councilman Reed, sorry, to talk about the letter of intent for JCPS, because we had not met either on writing that letter. Just December went by so fast. I'm so sorry. Did not get a chance. So we'll do welcome and introductions first. There's not very many of us on here. Elizabeth, do you want to go first for me?
Sure, I answered to Elizabeth. People often call me Liz, so whatever your preference is, I'll answer to it. I have a spinal cord injury, use a wheelchair, which you cannot see behind because of my lovely fake background. And I founded and run a nonprofit called Gathering Strength that serves people with disabilities. I am not on this commission. I am just attending as an interested person in the public.
Which we need everyone to attend. That's awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Melissa, I don't know if you can hear us. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you.
Okay.
I am Melissa Marble, and I'm president and CEO of Zoom Group, and we provide a comprehensive array of services to support individuals with disabilities, anywhere from level 2 residential to transportation to vocational, as well as day training, supported employment, and we're in the process of getting certified for customized. So that is my interest and why I'm here. And as an aside, I have a son with a visual impairment who has also inspired my passion about what we do.
What
Thank you.
was the organization? I couldn't quite hear it.
Zoom Group. It was formerly Louisville Diversified Services, and a lot of people still know it as that. But we're 39 years in existence and provide vocational services, day training support, primarily in the Louisville region, but we've gone statewide over the last couple of years.
Yeah. I don't know about you all, Dia and Greg, the sound was just like a little, like I couldn't quite get it clearly.
It's Zoom,
So-
ZOOM.
Yeah, thank you,
Okay,
Greg.
thank you.
No worries. And
Thank
Melissa,
you,
are you guys are you guys still located on Eastern Parkway and Bardstown Road? You had at one time
No.
had okay.
Yes, during the pandemic, we had to close that location because we didn't know how long we were going to be closed.
Okay.
And our lease expired. But the good news is we purchased the building off of Taylorsville Road in 2021. We renovated it and we reopened our doors for Studio Works at our Taylorsville Road campus. So we are back and operational, still have the art gallery and still focus that day program with arts.
Nice. Very good. I used to do Michelle P. Case Management, had a lot of people interested in Zoom, especially those who were with autism and that had autism, sorry, and were very artistic and were looking at what their future might hold for day programs and the like. So I'm glad you reopened.
I appreciate that. And honestly, just keep that word out there because we've during the pandemic and then during the last 2 years, we've both doubled the LifeWorks program and the Studio Works program to take on more individuals. And we have a high interest from families and individuals that are with autism. So happy to hear that. Happy to support.
Good. Very good. Thank you very much for joining too. Tahisha, do you want to go next?
Sure. This is Tahisha Rawlins, Associate State Director with AARP Kentucky.
Thank you, ma'am. Sarah.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Sarah Teeters, Louisville Metro Government, and I am in the Office of Resilience and Community Services and the ADA rep for the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Greg.
And I am Greg Willett, and I now work for Sarah. And I'm the Disability and Access Coordinator.
Very good. And I am Dia Erpenbeck, as you can see on the lead. I am still at KIPTA, have been there for 13 years now, moved around just a little bit. But my main focus is in-home services for older adults, 60 and older, to provide the ADLs and IADLs they cannot do themselves through contracted agencies out in the community. And of course, today's been a very big challenge for caregivers making it to the client's house. And also, we did not have any food delivery today from GA Foods, who is who we contract out of Ohio. So we are checking on our clients to make sure that they're okay, and also to make sure that they have food for this week, because the redelivery will not be until Friday. So it's a little troublesome, but I'm hoping that most people had some type of a shelf storage meal that will keep them going until they get their delivery on Friday. So just keep.
Dia, do you all do shelf-stable meals like Senior Nutrition does?
We do. So we just had, before we switched from GA to GA Foods, we were actually with Masterson's, and they had delivered a box of shelf-stable meals. But most of our clients like to eat through those, even if they don't, even if they didn't need them in that space. So
I know.
Snacks.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what
so
I was talking to someone earlier, and we had to cancel Senior Nutrition volunteer drivers today, obviously. And there were some people very upset about it on the Facebook page, and without getting into Facebook rhetoric with individuals, it was like, please help us spread the word that they have had 2 shelf-stable meal boxes delivered to them this year that equals 10 meals. So we're hoping they save some of those for emergencies like this, but we also know sometimes they eat through them or give them to grandkids or whatever the case may be.
yes. And I think that's maybe what we might have had happen as well. So all my case managers were really looking at their very vulnerable clients to see if they had any need for a food or food box. And the only thing I could think of right now is just to make an order to Kroger's or somebody hopefully that will deliver, Walmart, whatever, I don't know, or DoorDash or something to get them meals for the week. So. Okay, we've had a couple more people join. Miss Hetty, do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, my camera. Yeah, hi everybody. Hetty Bailey with the Office of Housing and Community Development. I work as the executive administrator over client services.
Very
Good to meet
good.
everybody.
Thank you for joining. Okay, and then David Rice, do you want to introduce yourself, sir?
David, you're on mute.
We good now?
Yes.
Good.
All right. I'm David Rice with Louisville Parks and Recreation. I'm the supervisor at Berrytown Rec Center. And just letting y'all know we are open today, and all of the community centers are open as shelters and warm places today.
That's awesome.
And the sledding hill's opened.
And the sledding hills on the golf courses and the parks are open.
That would be nice. I live close to McNeely Lake, but not close enough. I want to walk all the way over there to take a sled and go sliding. And I don't have any grandkids here close to me, so. So as I mentioned at the beginning, I don't think we have any others that have joined. we are not going to have a quorum today for the approval of minutes. So this is really going to be a small meeting. And then I do know that transportation was not able to meet over the month of December because I just handed the reins over to Lisa. And then Donna has been having some health issues and so was not able to do an education and awareness subcommittee meeting. And I do not see Councilman Reed on here. So we probably, I know we need to still write this letter to JCPS, but I'd like to have a little group put together to do that. Liz, at one time, did you say you would help with that? I know Tallery had said she wanted to.
What was it? I don't remember.
Sure, no problem. So there was a Metro meeting that was held and asked of different council people to support or fund from their discretionary funds access to JCPS's schools for kids with disabilities, either the equipment or access just to even get onto the playground. And so
It's been 2 ramps now.
okay, 2 ramps.
One at Norton Commons, and I forget where the other one was. That council districts ended up funding because it's not written into JCPS's budget, and many of the schools do not have wheelchair access to the playgrounds or disability friendly equipment on the playground. So
Thank you.
they are looking at making sure that that goes into the budget for consideration for the next school year, which those of you who don't know, January starts budget season for Louisville Metro. Budget hearings are in March. So we want to make sure that that is to the right hands before budget decisions are made. Sorry, Dee, I didn't mean to step over that.
No, that was fine. And that originally it was asked about the accessibility just to get into the playground, but I expanded that just a little bit more to say, why do we not have, like Sarah said, equipment that is accessible friendly to all students in the JCPS school districts. So Liz, this was just a letter that we wanted to write to the JCPS board to make sure hopefully that they would know we're aware of the situations and that they would maybe put this into their budget like Sarah was saying.
How is that not in violation of Title II of the ADA or to not provide access to the playground for kids with disabilities? Anybody know? I mean, I'm a
Yeah,
lawyer,
I
but
know,
I'm
I
not an
can-
expert.
There are a lot. I tried to comb over all of it. A lot of it comes down to
Practicability or something, which is
no,
often,
like because they're not newly built
yes.
and it's existing, and so that
Yeah.
change of
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
haven't had to do anything, so we haven't had to add anything.
Yeah.
So it comes down to a lot of that. Now I don't know
Wow.
about Norton Commons. I would think that's a newer one, but I don't know if that school was already there and they just I don't know.
I don't think so. I think that's brand new out there.
So yeah, so it comes down to a lot of it, and Councilman Reed knew some of the laws as well, and then there were a lot of others kind of loopholes, if you will, that when you get down and start reading it, you are kind of able to skirt it, which is unfortunate, but I find that with a lot of things in terms of parking lots and businesses and things like that, it's very frustrating.
Try being the wheelchair user trying to get in. It makes my head
try to be
go off my
I say
shoulder.
try to be the person who gets all the complaints and can't fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
And
Well-
just from experience of working in the Michelle P world and the SCL waiver worlds, Liz, I know that parents have filed lawsuits against school districts, not necessarily in Jefferson County, but in the surrounding counties to make changes for their special needs students, for for their loved ones who have special needs. You know, whether it be one school district told a family that their child could not enter the front door of the school building in a high school setting because they were afraid that person would get run over because she's smaller in statute and was not as fast as high school students. And so they advised the parents that she would have to go through a special door around the back into the side of the building. And that was not agreeable to the parents. So they filed a lawsuit against the school district and they won because they told the school district that their daughter should have the same opportunity as everyone else at the high school to enter the front door just like everyone else. And it was their responsibility to make sure all of their students were safe and not just their particular daughter. So, but it is things like that that have to happen in
I
order
mean,
for change.
give the students a little bit of credit. I mean, I find that for the most part, students, I mean, you're gonna always have some people who are not accepting of anyone really or regard for anyone, but I think for the most part, what I see is they generally do tend to kind of watch out for each other. You know, I mean, like, I don't know. I just, yeah, give them a little bit of credit.
Yeah.
Sarah, do you have any colleagues at Protection and Advocacy, or say either there are a couple of, there are in the U.S. attorney's offices in Louisville and Lexington, there are civil rights specialists who are attorneys who would be experts on the ADA, especially the application, well, really anywhere. And I
Yeah.
wonder if you
Yeah.
been able to create a relationship to have anyone who's an expert talk to you
Yeah.
about it.
There's a couple. They do tend to move around a little bit. But yeah, there's a few that I've been able to go to, especially for some of the more difficult situations to kind of, you know, legal, because I do not have a legal background, but to kind of give me that advisement of, you know, this is why this does meet it, and yes, it's not ideal, but it does meet the minimum requirements, or this is why it doesn't. So they've been very helpful in some things like that. Yeah.
Well, anyhow, I got you off the topic. I don't ever remember even hearing about this, much less agreeing to help with a letter.
Oh,
But
sorry.
I mean, no, I mean, so I do have a legal background, but I'm so insanely busy, I might lose my mind if I take on one more project. However, I'd be happy to, like, sometimes it's helpful to have like someone who hasn't been participating just do a read through. I often ask people to do that when I'm trying to put something together, but if that would be helpful, I'd be happy to do that, but drafting it, I don't think I can commit.
No worries. I know Tallery, who's also is on this community on this commission as a community person, had volunteered, but we were just not able to put together a time where we could meet. So no worries. We're gonna eventually get this going, and hopefully, I'll send out, with Sarah's help and Greg's help, and a reminder to everyone to see if there's an interest, and we can get a couple people together just to draft a quick letter that says, hey, we would like, if the mayor would be okay with it, to ask JCPS to put this in their budget for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Okay, that was pretty much the letter part on the agenda. And then one of the other things I am going to start doing is I am going to be the chair of public spaces and events for the subcommittee meeting. So I would like to get with David probably and see if he would want to be on this subcommittee with me and others. And we would write up some goals and make that part of this, because part of this group. We have not been able to get that group going. The transportation has been started and is going pretty strong. We have a good group of people in that. Awareness and education, or education awareness, is going pretty strong, and so is housing. I think David has a few people on his subcommittee group too. So getting this public spaces and events off the ground would really warm my heart. So I decided to take that on because I used to be a program director at an adult daycare facility and love to look at spaces and events and see how we can adapt and make it accessible for all. So I will be sending out an email to David and to others who have kind of said they would be interested in doing this, and then having a meeting in sometime this month in January so we can report in February regarding public spaces and events. So, and I want to help Donna with planning and getting the Crip Camp set up again for the Hillview Arts Program, Arts Theater. Sorry, I don't know the exact title. I've been there and we viewed the space and it's great. And so I'd like to get that going. I think we have set a tentative date for March 1st and it's going to be here fast. So need to get that going. Anybody have any new business or announcements since we are going to have such a short meeting today?
What was the Hillview thing?
So we showed the
The
Crip Camp.
space. It's
Yes.
not, I get the Crip Camp part.
Okay.
I'm curious about a space that you found that looks good. Speaking of spaces.
Sure. So I'm not exactly sure. It's the theater there, and it's in Hillview, Highview. Sorry, it's in Highview. It is across the
Okay.
street from the Baptist Church, just right down on Fagenbush Lane. And it's in a strip mall. It's on the left-hand side if you're looking at the building. And they have a little theater where they put on productions there, and we went and did a visitation just to see it and see the bathrooms and make sure everything was accessible. It's straight in, there's no steps, no any of that. The parking is a little bit different, and I'm going to say that kindly. It is a small parking lot, but they have room across the street to park, and then there's kind of like a little gravel lot next to the strip mall that people can park on that too. So that was my only concern about the parking situation, because Fagenbush, if you've ever been down there during rush hour, it is really busy right in that. And usually the light at Fagenbush and Watterson Trail and Beulah Church, that all just backs up really far. But this would be on a Saturday. So it'd be Saturday, March 1st, hopefully like 1 to 3, 1 to 4. And we would try to do the questionnaire and for questions afterwards as well, the panel discussion on the meeting, on the movie.
I encourage you to ask people who do not use wheelchairs to use the gravel lot and leave the non-gravel lot for the wheelchair users. Gravel's not fun.
No, I willingly would park across the
Yeah.
street too, just so, yes, understood. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, if once information is kind of confirmed and sooner rather than later, I'm happy
Yes.
to edit the flyer and not make it blue.
Yeah.
And all of that. But so I'm happy to kind of do that for this one so we can start doing the promotions. I just need to know, is the facility providing ASL interpreters? Do we need to reach back out or find the funding for that? I know last time AARP was gracious enough to donate that, but so I just didn't know if that
But
was
it
something
didn't work. So
well, I
I
know I wasn't
apologize
going to say
again.
that. That wasn't your fault. That was on them, not you. But I just didn't know if that was something that the facility was going to be providing, or we needed to look at to secure again, because if so, I want to make sure we're on their books.
Yes. We were supposed to have a meeting today from 12 to 1, but Donna had to cancel that. So I think that I don't think that they had thought about having that provided, so that might be something we will need to look into. There was a cost of $150 to rent the space as well. And we did not have but one person who requested assistance with parking at Actors Theater. So we still have that $90 left to go towards the funding of the facility. And because that was from a donation that I had gleaned. And so we would only need $60 more, and I'm thinking that won't be too hard to come up with. And the
No.
fact that this was a lot less than Actors Theater uh, warms my heart as well. So I will put ASL down on the things I need to talk to Donna about. And then when we finally do meet, which I'm hoping will be maybe in the next week or so, because we need to get going on this so we can get everything ready.
Okay.
And ARP, we will pay for the interpreter services if needed.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Okay.
Tahisha.
Well, that solves that one. So there you go.
Thank you, Tahisha.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. Anybody have anything else? I know Larry joined us. I don't know if he's able to talk or can see any of us. I saw him
Yeah,
pop
I
on.
can. I apologize for being late. I got involved in something and lost track of the time. And then I couldn't find the right login stuff. But I finally did find it. But I went to the meeting, and I don't know if you've talked about it. That was at, I think Liz was there, but at UCHM about TARC's schedule changes. Ozzy talked to the blind community mainly about that, and I thought it was a pretty good meeting.
Okay. Do you have
Did
any
not talk
highlights?
about it.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I think
the highlight to me was that Ozzy said he can't make any decisions about anything. He has to get the information on what the recommendations of the consultant are as to what TARC should do, and then present that to the board, and the board has to decide what are they going to do. Are they going to try to expand their ridership? Are they going to try to keep serving the same people they've been serving? And it is a difficult problem because they've run into the issues of the fact that the ridership for TARC is so far down, even though it's going up slightly now, but it's so far down from what it was pre-COVID that it's hard to justify how you spend more money on it unless you can come up with a way. And my thought is that it has to be a marketing plan that gets the Metro Council involved in making this decision and wanting to put a referendum out to allocate more of the occupational tax to TARC for either specifically TARC 3 or for TARC in general. And it's hard to imagine that Metro Council people, for the most part, will want to go out and say, "Oh yeah, we should spend more money on TARC," unless there's a way to market that. And I don't think they have quite got that together yet. That's just my own personal opinion. It's not an official opinion of TARC or TAC or anything, but it's a difficult problem. But the only place where there's any money is in the occupational tax. But TARC has never been given the full share of the occupational tax that they actually were originally thought to deserve. So it's kind of a difficult problem to figure out. How do we get people's minds changed to giving more money to TARC to provide better service?
I'd
Go ahead,
like to
please.
add a little to that. Ozzy is willing to meet with, I had the good luck of having a meeting with him in July or August. And I asked if he would be willing to meet with people with disabilities in the community, because I believe there is a trust gap between TARC and people with disabilities, especially people who use paratransit. And he said he was willing to meet with anybody, anywhere, and talk straight to them, and not try to sugarcoat and just be real. And so the first meeting that has come along has been with the National Federation of the Blind and the Greater Louisville, what is it called? Greater Louisville something for the blind. There's two
Yeah.
groups and they
Yeah.
meet on Friday. So that's what he's willing to have other meetings. And anyhow, I it's the decision makers. It is a complicated issue, but the decision makers really, Ozzy his boss is the mayor. And if the mayor says, I don't want you to go to the legislature or don't go to council and ask for money, he can't do it. So
Mhm.
it's going to have to be citizen leadership
That's right.
to put pressure both on the legislature, because we could get more money from the Kentucky legislature if they simply use the formula that Indiana uses for
Yeah. Or
paying
Ohio.
for
Yeah.
public transportation. So that's one thing. And wouldn't obviously happen this year, maybe not even next year. But the other is that occupational tax. And frankly, I don't see how you have a first-class city without having public transportation that serves, that meets the needs of employers and people. And while ridership has gone down, if you had a more reliable system that went to the right places, you might actually find people ride more. And that the consultant has mentioned some of that. People stop riding in part because they can't, they don't, the reliability and the frequency is not there for them. But anyhow, I think a lot of organizing has to happen around this, and I suspect Ashley Swafford of the National Federation for the Blind and others, including myself, are going to get a coalition together to begin to lobby council and the legislature about it.
I think that's great. And I think that's what's needed. I think it has to be a grassroots movement to say, okay, we really want a better transportation system and we want this transportation system to serve the people that need it. And it has to be the politicians aren't going to do it, and neither are the city leaders. I mean, they don't want to go ask for more money, but it's got to be a groundswell of support, and and I think sometimes unfortunately the disability community gets fragmented by sort of these different opinions about what should be done, and there's a lack of cohesiveness there. So I think one of the best things that I learned not too long ago was that TARC is serving a much larger area than it originally uh, was set to serve. It was set to serve a city from, the 1970s, and the city has expanded way out. And but there's never been anybody that has said, "Oh gosh, we need to give more money to TARC because they're serving a much larger area." And also, paratransit was put in after TARC was founded, and it was never allocated any funds at all for itself. So paratransit has to depend on whatever TARC has left over. And, that's nothing. So yet the federal law demands that you have paratransit. So there's a real budget squeeze there where they've never been given what they deserve to get. And so I think there has to be I'm not, I'm a salesman, so I look at it from a salesman's point of view. How do you sell this to the general public? And you've got to really start with Metro Council because they're the only ones that can go say, okay, we're going to put a referendum out that the people are going to have to pay more money to TARC and through the occupational tax, which is the only avenue there is. So um, it requires somebody that's got some expertise in government and marketing and so forth. And I'm not that I'm not that skillful. I don't have all those skills. So I hope that we can pull it together. And if you can do that, Elizabeth, and others in the disability community, I think it would be wonderful, and I would be glad to help in any way I can.
Well, I don't have the skills either, but we got to find the people, and we've got to align with the environmentalists and people who believe in public transportation, not just, folks with disabilities,
Right.
employers too.
Yeah,
Liz,
employers. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, what you do,
Liz,
you have some big segments of the community like UPS that employs a lot of people that use TARC 3, and then you have others around. So uh, I just don't think the general public understands that. They don't have there's no understanding of what is involved here, and that's the reason there's no enthusiasm to do anything about it.
So Liz, my recommendation would be to use the people that are in the transportation subcommittee group. Lisa Harris actually has her own transportation company and doesn't have all those skills either, but I think the combination of all of you guys together, Gina Ostertag used to work for TARC and also has been on TAC with before Larry and has had some knowledge in that as well. So I think that if you got a lot of those people together, Liz, that would help start that group together.
Okay. And I think we probably have a few Metro Council people who understand the importance of this, and they would be good allies to, incorporate into any group that we have.
Yeah, even the people closest to us may not have the will to raise taxes.
Yeah,
No matter who they are, they want to get reelected. And
that's
so
right.
there has to be the pressure from we the voters
Right.
that we will make sure you're not reelected if you don't do this. And that's a tough one.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah. Well, I appreciate I got on my soapbox here, but you gave me an opening, Dia, so
No,
I went
no
ahead and took
worries. No,
it.
no worries, no worries. I'm glad everyone is passionate about definitely the qualms of what TARC is facing in the next few years and also with the paratransit because just from my experiences of writing just a little bit on there, I know there's some downfalls and some situations where people get into hot messes and can't get home. But for the most part, have had good success in riding the buses with Gina and the driver experience. There's a lot of them that are
I'll lay
good
down.
quality people too. So it
Mhm.
always,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Okay.
agree.
So I would like to, Sarah, does anybody have anything else? I don't know if we've got anything else on the agenda. We still do not have a quorum, even though I did see
There's
David come on.
no quorum, and I don't have anything in the public comments piece. I know we were just going to throw it out there. Greg and I've gotten a couple of calls. If anybody knows of anyone who's doing emergency, or I'm sorry, non-emergency, but medical, oh my,
Need-based.
thank you, need-based transportation to critical medical appointments. I don't know why I cannot get the word critical out. Critical medical appointments or prescription pickup. If anybody knows of anybody doing that kind of work, that's something that we're looking for today and tomorrow that we're kind of playing around with. So if you all hear of anybody, let us know. But other than that, I do not have anything. Um,
Okay, so for our next meeting in February and in March, we are going to be virtual, both of those. And in those 2 months, we are going back to Cozaires to see how we can do teams at their community center for April. So we'll be a hybrid meeting hopefully in April. But they could not house us for the next 2 months. So I didn't want to confuse everybody with this month we're doing virtual, next month we're doing hybrid, whatever, you know. So this was the only month they could do the hybrid until April. And I just told Sarah, I said it would be probably just easier if everybody was virtual for the next few months to get us through the winter anyway. And Sarah was,
Especially now today, nobody
Yes.
was going anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Today was
So
the
any-
perfect day for virtual.
it was
I wanted to-
definitely.
I wanted
So
to
in-
apologize for the confusion over the meetings. You know, I thought maybe we wanted to meet every Monday. I just didn't. Sarah clarified that maybe we only do it once a month. So I apologize. Then
That's-
y'all got, you know, 2 different messages from me on it. I apologize.
no worries on that. No worries.
This is,
So
this is,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, this is Melissa. I was wanting to know if Sarah, if I could locate someone that would be able to transport the prescriptions and do critical transport, who should I contact?
Greg, do you want to send her the email?
I
We
can
have
do that.
some individuals from Centerwell who have reached out about it. They've got
Okay.
some clients that are needing it.
Okay.
So Greg, do you mind sending that over?
I'll do it right now. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a solution, but I'm going to try to reach out and see if we can come up with one.
No, I appreciate you looking into it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Melissa.
Definitely. So next meeting will be February, and Sarah, I'm going to pull up my calendar really fast. Let's see here. I have the 3rd. If everyone has the 3rd, that we will, yep, okay, so down at the bottom, thank you. And the subcommittee groups that will be meeting will be public spaces and events, which will be my new group to start. And then David, your group with housing will also hopefully be able to report in February of what you guys are doing. Sound good, David?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Good. And I am going to continue serving on transportation and infrastructure to help Lisa out. So if anybody who is in any of the other groups wants to be in the public spaces and events, that would be great. David, I know you did have some contacts for some of the concert venues. That would be helpful for me too. And then I already know one of the ones I kind of want to tackle is the fair and the thought process of TARC or the paratransit dropping everyone off with a disability in the back if they have to ride public transportation. So instead of going around to the front, they're not dropping anyone off at the front, which doesn't make any sense to a lot of the people that I know that ride paratransit, and why we have to always go through the back is kind of sad. But that would be one of the things I would like to see a change if we could possibly do it. And I'm sure there's others too. So I have lots of open ideas. If anybody would like to join my group, I will send out an email to this whole group, plus a couple of people that I know in the community that have expressed interest in just serving on a subcommittee like this. And we'll see what we can do on getting a meeting put together. Sarah, anything else? No? Greg, anything else?
Oh, I'm good. I think
Okay. Well, we lasted a lot longer than I
a
thought
lot
we were
longer.
gonna.
Yeah.
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 It's a good thing, you know, TARC always has center precedence sometimes on some of the things that go on in the city. So we appreciate you, Larry, and also Liz for going to those meetings and representing. So. Well, I adjourn this meeting then. I don't know, since we don't have a quorum, I can't ask for a vote to do it, but we will just go ahead and end it today at 2:45. I wish everybody safe and warm rest of your Monday and hopefully Tuesday. And maybe by Wednesday, we will all have dug out just a little bit and can travel to grocery stores, pick up medications, going to appointments, whatever the need might be. So thank you.
Thank you,
Absolutely. Stay
dear.
safe.
Bye.
Take
Thank
care.
Have
you,
a good
everybody.
one.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.